Welcome back to Trail Trash ADV with Jeff in the garage. So we've had a lot of footage that we filmed while Colin was up north, and he's just piling through it. At present, we're doing about an episode a week, and the current episodes are on the V-Strom, Thin Strom project. So I think we left off last week, and it depends on when you see this. I don't know, I may try to get this out midweek or something like that. I think we left off with the mock-up of V-Strom. So just to clarify, like we trimmed some plastics, we put some stuff back on. We've got the final build because we didn't put all of the bolts in and everything. And I want to touch up paint where I had to cut or drill holes for certain things. So yeah, we're going to continue on. That's going to be the main videos for next week, and I think maybe the week after. So, but that's up to Colin how much he gets done before he has to go back up north again. So why am I doing this video then out of order or out of our weekly schedule? Well, stuff's moving. Fall's here, and winter will soon be here, and there's been some changes in the garage. I don't think I've actually introduced this project yet, and part of the reason is because I don't know if it's going to be a project. So, potentially. So, real quick, I'm just going to talk about this, and I'll get the seat out of the way. So, basically, what we're looking at here is a 1984 XT250. Currently, I don't know if we have or can get a title for this, which is why I don't know if this is going to be a project or not. It's a mess, but that's what we do. The XT500 was built from, that was built up from basically boxes of parts. Yeah, so Colin's back, the KLX is gone. And the V-Strom's back for the final build on the rally tower, and just any kind of cleanup we want to do on that. Get the measurements. We're taking some other measurements of one measurement I had off, and I think I mentioned that in the video. So that's in the garage, and that's going to be this week. That's what I'm doing this week. You won't see it for a couple of weeks. So for me personally, Colin got a new KLX, and I had to make a decision this week. We're going to try to get the Cape Breton trail guide done, and the XT has been down most of the summer. You guys have seen a couple of ride videos. I think we put up one with me, Colin, on the his XT250, my XT500, and my son on the Van. Since then, it has been mostly down. Now, I'm not going to get too into the weeds in this because this is kind of a quick update video, but the ignition system and the lighting system and charging and battery, those are completely different systems on the XT. And they did that back in the 70s for a reason. So the headlight and the ignition system all run off of, or sorry, no, that's not right. The ignition system runs off itself without the need of a battery or whatever. You can have the battery out, doesn't matter. And as long as your lighting coil is putting out some AC, your headlight will work because the headlight runs on AC. Now the taillights, blinkers, they all run off a battery that needs a regulator rectifier to charge. So part of the voltage that comes out of the stator goes up to the AC headlight. The rest of it went to run the dash lights, and I think some of those were AC too. But anyway, some of the dash lights were DC, and the blinkers and taillight. It's a solid mounted, non-counterbalanced single cylinder engine, and it vibrates a lot. And unfortunately, the wiring harness is 40 years old. Now, I can get a new harness, but they're not cheap. A company called Keto makes a lot of reproduction parts for it. So, and why would I want to buy a new harness? Well, the reason the XT was down most of the summer was I had electrical faults in the charging system and I could not find them. I ended up taking all of the tank off, seat off, plastics off, everything. I stripped it down, and I stripped a lot of wiring insulation to get to what I found were several broken wires, several spots where insulation had worn through. A lot of the old bullet connectors, they have plastic sheaths, or like little rubbery plastic sheaths, but those have all hardened up. But there's nothing on the male end of the plug that goes in, so water can still get in there. So there was a lot of corroded terminals. And I had a corroded ground that I didn't know. I mean, I really didn't think it didn't look corroded. So, but it was the main ground for the regulated rectifier, which means it was overcharging the battery. I think the battery survived. So I finally got the XT running. It's finally back up and going. Because I was really trying to get it ready for the Cape Breton trip. But my confidence in that poor girl is a little shot. I'm taking it in the woods. It's 40 plus years old. I'm beating it up. Every time I take it out, I'm getting, wiring is getting corroded and rubbed and stuff. I've double insulated. I've tried to route things in ways where they're not being rubbed on anything. And it's a hardy bike. I mean, it's lasted over 40 years. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like beating it in the woods all the time is not doing it any favors. And the more years go by, the harder it's going to be to get replacement parts for that. So far, so good between what Yamaha makes, and what Keto reproduces. I can get just about anything for it if I've got the cash, which is not insignificant if you have to go to Keto. The dealer is the Vintage Spoke for anybody who's got an XT that's listening or watching this. The Vintage Spoke is the distributor for Keto in the United States. But getting stuff to Canada from the United States is actually more expensive than ordering, even during COVID, is more expensive than ordering from Australia, for example. I don't know why. It's broke, right? Whatever. Anyway, so the XT has got to take a step back a little bit. And I had to make a decision on what I'm going to be hacking on Trail Trash. So this brings me to an announcement, I guess. And if if you're following me on Instagram, I don't even know what Instagram is, so I can't tell you. But some of my personal friends who do watch the channel, they also follow me on Instagram. So I'll turn you guys around. All right, this is a 2010 DRZ 400, as I'm sure anybody who's familiar with dual sports will recognize. This is my new bike. Now, not that this will matter much to you guys, because it wasn't really featured on the channel anyway, but to keep peace in the house, I was not allowed to, I shouldn't say that. I can't add another bike, or I couldn't add another bike. Something had to go. And no, the XT500 was not going to go. It's going to stay on the channel, although it's going to fill a different role from now on. And the van is going to stick around. My kids are learning to ride on that, both off-road and on-road. And it's a perfect bike for that sort of stuff. And my father-in-law, who's 70, and used to bike a lot and hasn't been able to, it's a perfect bike for him to get out. And you're actually going to see a video coming up with him out with us, riding with Trail Trash. So he was pretty excited about that. So this bike has got a few farkles. I'm not going to go around a whole lot to talk about it. You're going to see more about it on the channel anyway. So real quick, I guess you're asking, well, what had to give? Well, here's the garage as it currently sits. All right, yeah, so DRZ 400. That's what we're going to do the Cabot Trail guide on, and that'll be what I'll be trashing on Trail Trash now. Not all the time. I mean, like I said, the XT isn't going anywhere, and it's going to get pulled out. I may see a bit of a transformation. I may be, and this is just kind of a maybe, I think I'm going to tear off some of the modern stuff and kind of make it look more like it would have looked in the 70s. It's not a candidate for restore. It's got too many mismatched parts. but I do want to kind of give it more of that 70s feel back than it was before. Not reducing any functionality, more just an aesthetic change. So yeah, DRZ. So what you missed when we panned through the garage is the Bonnie. Surprise, the Bonnie had to go. 2015 Triumph Bonneville Se. I bought that bike 7 years ago. It's been the bike I've kept the longest, and I really love that bike. But something had to go. I needed the funds for the DRZ, and I'm not riding it anymore. It's just I don't have anybody to ride with, really, that's doing a lot of road miles, especially with COVID, kind of shot all that down. But even without it, I'm just in that stage of my life where, you know, we're doing everything off road. I'm not really hanging with guys, cruiser guys and sport bike guys and whatever. Still, it was a bike I planned on holding on to just for, I don't know, for whatever, but I made the decision that I had to go. Still into vintage. Modern classic's cool, but I really like vintage, so possibly down the road there could be another bike added to the stable. Most likely it's going to be real vintage. It'll be a road going bike though, so I don't know how much interest there'll be in Trail Trash YouTube channel, but I love cafe racers, bobbers, choppers. So there'll be a project along down the road, something along those lines. Yeah, so I guess that's it. I've rambled on long enough. There hasn't been really a lot of anything in this video other than a couple of project announcements from my end. So again, Colin's going to have some video editing. There's a few ride videos we've got. The Thinstrom project's continuing, and just to make sure, there were some people that were kind of wondering what was going on with the V-Strom. I put a comment on the last video to that effect. It's not going anywhere. The V-Strom has been on hiatus a little bit while we do this Thinstrom project, but the Thinstrom project is all about making it more of a deep woods beast. It is going to be used. It's going to be abused. Yes, the KLX 300 will be around. There will be certain trails that we're going to be doing on that, like the Cabot Trail guide will be done on the KLX. But there'll be lots of videos for you V-Strom fans. I think the Adventure Rally X Tower is a really cool project. Not everybody's cup of tea, right? The looks they're probably polarizing. Some people won't like it. But I think some people will like it. I think it's wicked cool. That could, that's going to go through some changes too. The V-Strom project is going to continue to evolve. We've got some stainless steel brake lines coming for it that are going to change the way they're routed over the tire to give us a little more room with our high mount fender. Yeah, so if you're just here for V-Strom content, don't go anywhere. There's more coming. Colin he's still going to rip that thing. So hope that's clarified a few things and caught everybody up to what's going on. For Trail Trash ADV, this is Jeff. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next video.